Hey there, what's up you guys? Jacqueline Jax from AVA Live Radio, and I am listening to a little bit of Mike Contoni. He's so cool, right? He's going to be featured on New Music Monday actually today at 6 o'clock when we do New Music Monday. And I'm having a cookie. It's kind of like an animal cracker, but it's actually a windmill cookie. See it? So what's happening, everyone? Little bottom of the bottle blues for you. Good question came in from one of you on my Music Marketing Insider, and as you know, I try to address all the questions right here with you guys. So come on in. Please don't forget to tweet and share it with your friends, because that helps me out for all of the work that I do for you guys. So I much appreciate that. Standing out in today's music market, well, anybody, I mean, really not just music, to tell you the truth. Standing out in anything you do on social media progressively gets harder and harder, and the reason why is because there's so much going on. There's so many people that have jumped into the space. There's bloggers, there's different niches for everything. You know, it's not just music. It's anything in entertainment. It's comedians. It's radio show hosts. Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate you guys. Oakland Raiders. Hey Mike, what's up? Thanks for sharing this on Twitter. I appreciate you guys over there. Book authors, bloggers, like so many people are launching different things that they want to do and sell and build on social media. How do you stand out? It's kind of a long answer, but I'm going to address some basic principles today. And if you guys really want to stand out, let me just remind you that I do have the musicmarketinginsider.com there for you to enjoy, because that is where every single day I run through ways for you to stand out using the tools that you have, especially from your cell phone. Like for instance, today we're talking about YouTube and building a great YouTube channel and having that ability to just go from your cell phone. What's good? Using your marketing advice. You are, thank you. I'm so glad you're using the marketing advice. That's awesome. Happy to hear it. Be sure to check in with me on Twitter or whatever space you're using so that I can come look at your page, because I love to look at you guys' page and see what you're doing. So basically, coming from the outside of the question in, and I work with clients on this all the time, how to stand out in this space. It's not one particular thing that people do to stand out in the space. Thanks, Mike. I'm glad you like the advice. It's more of a combination of things that you do. Now, aside from the fact that you have a website available to you, you have whatever it is that you're putting out there, whether it be music or a radio show or blogs or content, whatever it is you're putting out there is your product. Aside from the product and making sure it's great quality product and it's something that people want, then you have to build a brand. Now, we all know that people love to do business and be around other people. And we also know that people love to be inspired. So being inspired by an indie artist is like a given thing, right? However, I see a lot of people making mistakes. And the biggest mistake they make is they're not doing anything to connect with their audience. And this is something that I consistently try to improve on with you guys over at Music Marketing Insider. I try to give you content, strategy every single day so that you can do better on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and just be able to reach out to people through those social media platforms and build them really strong. Now, one of the things that I did notice in just kind of overviewing lots of people's pages is the fact that they don't use images heavily. I see some bands that are doing so much better than others just because of their images. They've learned that they have a point of view, they know what it is that makes them really unique and special, and they're able to convey that through their images. And I'm not just saying like getting up on stage and putting up a band picture. That is beside the fact. That is something you should always be doing, right? You should always be showing a day in the life. But it's the message that needs to come ahead of the media. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is that one essential thing is you're not getting your message out there. You're just getting your media out there. You're expecting the song to speak for itself. That's a good example. You're expecting the music video to speak for itself, but you're not telling people why it should be important to them or why they should have something in common or relatable with the music you're putting out. So as a music marketing specialist or, you know, an entertainment branding specialist, one of the things that I like to focus on is what kind of message do you have to deliver that is inspirational, that is motivational? Why would somebody want to follow you? What is it that you do every day? Like, do you make music? Do you get into a studio? Do you learn tools? Do you figure it out? Do you buy new equipment? Are you making this music live? How are you recording it? You know, all of these questions you need to think about as you're marketing your brand out there and you're drawing in people. You've got to look at it like you're a book, right? Just kind of think of yourself like a book. You're not an open book unless you actually start taking pieces from your book and pushing it out there on social media. Sometimes it's good enough to push it out with an image, but most times you have to have something else that addresses the fans. Another thing I always say is if you want to stand out, you have to think like one of your fans. So first, figure out, go inside and ask yourself some questions, you know, like make a list of who you are or who people think you are. So on your social pages over time, I'm sure people have said to you, oh, you know, you sing the most amazing love songs, or I really love your freestyle hip hop. I think you are so on point. I love the energy of your songs. I love what you stand for. You're so motivational. I love getting inspired by you. You're always talking about success and dreams, and your songs really speak to me because they tell stories that are relatable. Figure out what people are saying about you already out there, or what your friends and family are saying about you already, and that gives you a good insight into what your message actually is if you don't know it yet. Now, if your message is completely different than what they're saying about you, you're really kind of like, you know, not headed in the right direction, right? Because they're getting one thing and you're trying to put out another. So you guys are missing each other big time. Then you have to decide, okay, is what they know about me something I'm okay with? And is that a better brand message for me because it naturally gets relayed through what I'm doing already? Or is that just so wrong and I don't want to stand for that and I have to switch it up? These are all ways that you will stand out with consistency over time. And when we talk about consistency, let me just address one thing. Consistency, hey, how are you, Thomas? Consistency has to do with you showing up all the time for your fans, consistently answering questions, responding to comments on the pages that you frequent, having consistent images, putting out images on a regular basis. If you're going to do YouTube, make sure you have a content strategy so that you keep posting more information on that. It's not just about releasing the official video, it's about what else you can use that media space for to put that content out there and get in touch with your fans. You know, if you're going to do Periscope, do it regularly. Set up a schedule. Tell people when they can depend on you being there so that they can think about it. You know, I know one of the biggest things with people I subscribe to is they want you to show up, but then they don't show up for you, you know? And eye candy, correct? Yes, very, very much eye candy too. That's a good one. You're my #1 fan. Thank you, Thomas. That's really sweet. Thank you so much. I'm your fan too. And especially if you guys are over on my Twitter page, I can follow you guys all back, which makes me happy because I can see what you're up to. But I think the big point here is whatever that message is, you've got to find ways to put that across. Do I sing? Yes, I actually do sing. You can go and check out my singing at ReverbNation /Jacqueline Jax page. And I am always doing music marketing though, so I don't release a lot of new stuff, but it's kind of a passion, so that's okay. And of course, you guys can join me on avaliveradio.com for all of the amazing interviews that we do every single week. Today, I'm going to be on New Music Monday telling you guys about the top 10 that I think are amazing songs, handpicked from our music artists, things that are just coming out, great for your projects, depending on what you're doing. If you're in the film industry or entertainment business and you really want to collaborate with someone, or you're looking for an artist for something, that's a great place to find it. Now, getting back to this question, yes, all of the industries are saturated, but there is still so much room to get found. And I've noticed that when I work with an artist, it's usually tweaking what they already have. You know, like if they're just putting up grainy images and they don't know how to use light just to take a great photograph, the right lighting, then tweaking that can make a huge difference. Getting a content schedule, like I said, what to put where, at what times, and how to figure out who your audience actually is, and then figuring out how to talk to them and what kind of media you're going to put forward. But once again, it's got to be your message first before the media. A lot of things that I noticed that are happening, especially in music marketing, is indie artists are putting out content before they're thinking about the message. So I'm big on Twitter. One of the huge mistakes that you guys make on Twitter is hi Twitter, thank you so much. We are PXH just retweeted me. Nice to see you. If you go to pretty much anybody's Twitter direct message, it is filled with direct instructions from people, not personal instructions, no engagement. It's just all of these DMs, crazy DMs, just like tons and tons and tons and tons of them, with nobody saying anything except giving me a direct order to listen to something they just made or follow them on another profile. The reason why this has no bearing on building your fan base whatsoever, and is such a mindless, stupid thing to do for building any brand, is because, one, nobody is going to be motivated to go outside of the Twitter platform and go follow you somewhere else, right? Just blindly. Why would they do that? You're not standing out that much if you're using DM to try and build your other following pages. And sending somebody off of the platform they're on, unless they really want to find you and you give them reason to do that, they're not going to do it. So that's a total waste of DM, and it's annoying because you've just knocked down the real questions because you've just filled my inbox with a bunch of DMs. So what do? We go through and we delete them, so you're not getting any response. The second thing is, if you have a new video out, that can't be your first introduction to a new person. It doesn't make any sense, because why would somebody who doesn't know you engage with you this way when they're getting this exact same message from a million other people? Why would you do it the exact same way? This is a huge mistake that I'm seeing you guys make, and over and over and over again you're doing it. Now, if I had already had an interaction with you maybe once or twice and it was personal, then I would be more inclined to say, hey, you've got a new video, that's great, I'm excited, I'm gonna go look. However, if you just right out of the box hit me with a DM, I'm least likely to look at it. The first thing I say is go apply to AVA Live Radio, because I'm not gonna sit and listen to 250 artists who are talking at me through automatic DM, or like 300 a day. I don't know, we get so many of them that probably won't respond if I listen and even give them a heads up about their music. Because most of them don't even say anything past that one instant message. Like, I will answer somebody on a DM and I'll be lucky if I see something come back from them that isn't maybe another link or something like that. Nothing personal. Gotta make a first impression count. So right, Terry, that's exactly true. Those first impressions make a huge difference. Now, when you talk about your message, let me just give you guys one big tip. The rest of them, get into Music Marketing Insider so that you can get more on this particular thing, because we cover this in the Music Marketing Insider. One huge tip for you is think like the people that are receiving your message. If you don't like to get talked at a certain way, if you don't like to receive messages a certain way or be told what to do, don't do it to anybody else. Because if you're not going to respond to it, chances are nobody else will either. So it's much better to just be interactive with people and reach out to them in the same way that you would want them to reach out to you. Something that makes sense and connects with them. I am much more receptive, especially like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere. If somebody comes to me, and so dead on, I'm so glad you like it, Six Strings. If somebody comes to me and says, hi, I just met you, I just followed, thanks for following me. I'm a music artist, and I'd love to hear what it is that you do. Now, you've just asked them, hey, I got a friend. You've just asked them, you made contact, you thank them. It's a nice little greeting. It's not even like a customized greeting, right? It's just reaching out and saying, what is it that you do? How can we connect? Before I start asking people to go view the links. And the reason why is because, one, first of all, if I am on your Twitter page, I can easily just go to your Twitter feed and see what your music's like, correct? Because it should be pinned to the top. So whatever is important is already there. You don't have to give it to me again in DM. Secondly, if I go to your profile page, I can read all about what it is you do. And you should have done that for me too, if you're reaching out and saying something. So in that message, you really should put a genuine interest in the person you're trying to talk to. Don't just give them a call to action. Now, side note for this. If you are someone who has a really great message or a tip or some kind of resource that you think, talking fan to fan kind of thing. Yes, talking to each other. This is social media, guys. This is not, this isn't that hard. It's really not. You guys make it a little harder because you're just doing all those call to actions, those stagnant reach outs that aren't really you reaching out at all, and you're not getting to know your fans and they're not getting to know you, and that's what's making everything such a dead space for you. But getting back to my point, the side note is, if you have something like, say, I'm making a video that will help you do better on Twitter. Now that is something that I'm offering that's valuable, right? I'm not doing it as a music artist, but I'm doing it as a branding specialist that will help. That is an acceptable offering because it will help somebody. You see what I mean? So now if I were promoting my music and I just made a song that, oh my gosh, I really connected with because this song tells a little piece of my story. And I went through something that was a major struggle in my life. It was a big hurdle. I did a song about it. I just finished the video on it. And perhaps you would relate to this too. What could I say in that message that would convey that sentiment? And this is why I say don't put media first, put your message first. If I were on Facebook or if I were marketing a video on Twitter, what could I say to the audience to communicate the fact that this song is about something that's very, very personal to me? Now, you guys know Taylor Swift is about the best in the business when it comes to this stuff. You really need to pay attention to her because she is a game changer. She was in the beginning, and although, people have different views on her, she really knows how to connect with an audience and tell her story. She makes songs about her life, and she makes it really clear that that's what you're going to get from her. Correct? She inspires people. She gets angry, and she, vents in the music. This is what you can expect. That's her brand. That's her message. It's really clear. And the individual piece of that message comes out in that song. So you have to learn how to put the message first before the media. And that's really going to help you to connect and stand out in any market that you're in. And that goes for mommy bloggers, that goes for entertainers of any kind, artists that are making art. Get the message out there first, and let the media pieces tell the story. Don't just throw them up there. Get a plan together, get a strategy. If you need help with it, please join the Music Marketing Insider, because that's what it's there for. It is so there for you to get that strategy together and be thinking about really important concepts every single day within my marketing group. This is Jacqueline Jax for AVA Live Radio. I hope you guys enjoyed it today, and I hope you got a little insight, even just a piece, into how to stand out on social media and make this all work for you. Thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it. You guys are always so lovely to me and just so supportive. I will catch you at 6 p.m. hopefully for New Music Monday, and you most likely will see me again later. See you.